Today's video, I'm going to tell you why in 2018 you should start collecting for the original Xbox. So the original Xbox gets quite a hard time for those who collect, probably because it's so chunky looking, and it also didn't sell particularly well. And when Microsoft did finish it for the 360, they got rid of it straight away, unlike, say, PlayStation, who continue support for the PlayStation 2. So the original Xbox came out in November 2001 in North America. It came out in February 2002 in Japan and March 2002 in Europe. So it was the most powerful console of that generation. It also had a hard drive in it, which was the only one to do that. So you could save games straight onto the box, and you could record music off of your CDs and play them in game. It also was the console that had the best online, or pretty much the only dedicated online system for gaming, Xbox Live, which didn't launch straight away when it launched with a console, but PS2, for example, needed a dongle, and it wasn't really inbuilt. And you could say that obviously the Dreamcast had it, but the Dreamcast didn't last too long. We know what happened with that. It also came with the undesirable, although it was my favourite, Duke controller, which is, as you can see, it's pretty damn big. Later on, they brought out the controller S, which is a lot smaller. They released this one in Japan first. They never released this in Japan, but I actually refused to buy one of these when I needed a new controller because it just felt strange at the time. Also, they had, let me put that down. They also made the breakaway cable. Obviously, this was in the days when you still had big long cables, no wireless controllers. So if it was plugged into the Xbox, you got up and pulled it, then it would snap in half rather than pulling your Xbox halfway down your living room. So yeah, that was quite good. The pricing is also one reason that you should collect. These machines are pretty cheap, even though, like we said, it is the most powerful machine of its generation. On eBay, you may be looking at about £15 to £60, depending on whether it's got a box or if it's got games, more controllers, condition. It's about $25 to $60 as well if you're in America. It is a machine that's region locked, so if you are buying games from Japan or America or PAL games or whatever, then you will need to buy the relevant machine, unless you do mod, which there is a big modding scene. I bought this one for it, and also, like, if you're looking around like Gumtree or charity shops or anywhere that could be somebody's wanting to get rid of this, you could get it really cheap. This one, which is it was really dirty, but I took it apart and cleaned it up, and it's fully working condition. Cost me 25p. Fair enough, I did buy a big kind of job lot of stuff with it, but divided between the games and the controllers and stuff, it was about 20 odd pence for this, so that was not too bad. If you're collecting special edition consoles, like there's like the Halo version, There's like a Japanese skeleton, smoke grey one. There's Mountain Dew versions. Some of these things they'll be well above 100, 200. It depends what it is, and also whether they're boxed, how the wrapping is, etc. But if you just want to go for a base Xbox, then like I said, knock yourself out, because it's really cheap, and that's a great thing. You know, it'll probably go up in price in time, so you might as well get it while it's cheap. Moving on to games, there is 1,045 titles. 289 of those are exclusive to North America, and 96 are exclusive to Europe. 44 are exclusive to Japan. So if you are doing your own region, you know, you'll be under 1,000, which is not too bad a collection if you want to go for the full amount. Certainly if you're collecting systems like the Wii, which has got tons of shovelware and stuff, like, you know, if you were going for a full one of those, that would take quite a long time, although some of those are not great games. So the games don't cost they don't cost much. You can buy games for about £50p if you're shopping in CEX. A lot of them are 50p, 75p. In America it'll be the same, $1 less. You go some places and they think, oh, it's retro, so they put the prices up. So the average game is not worth more than £10. eBay seems to pull the prices up a wee bit, but if you're in the streets and the main street shopping, second-hand shops and stuff, they won't cost you too much. There are games there's like Steel Battalion, that could cost you 300, 400, but that's got the huge controller with it. There's exclusive Japanese games and stuff, and games that don't come out with large amounts, because obviously once it got to about 2005, then they just axed pretty much everything. Hardly any games came out for it. So one of the rare games would be Operation Genesis, the Jurassic Park game. It's actually not as rare in a PAL version, but it's still maybe set you back about £40. It all depends. I mean, obviously you could go in the shop and you could find this for 50p, and if you do, you should pick it up. Sealed versions of this, maybe £100. But definitely if you've got the American versions, you're maybe like $100. It seems to be a wee bit less quantity of this game, and obviously if you're trying to buy it, try and always get the manuals, because I think every game came with a manual for that generation of console, which we don't sadly really see much in the modern consoles. So that's one to look out for. I will be doing a series on rare original Xbox games. So we'll look at some normal video games that you might pick up for about 50p or something, that you should buy. So firstly, we've got Halo games. Yes, there's a Master Chief collection of this, but if you're collecting original, you should buy these games, because they pretty much defined first-person shooters on consoles. Excellent games. Story's great in this. Not so keen on the ending, but the Xbox Live multiplayer was great. Sadly, Xbox Live for the original Xbox is down, and the original, well, it's excellent. Yeah, you should buy these. The Project Gotham Racing series, actually can't find my second one, I can find the disc, but 1 and 2, PGR 1 and 2, yeah, if you've played 360, you've probably played you've probably played Project Gotham 3 or 4. Excellent games, arcadey. If you're not into Forza Motorsport, and you maybe like something like Forza Horizon or Need for Speed or whatever. Well, this is better than Need for Speed, but it's got time challenges, it's got like racing around cones, drifting challenges, everything. And it's also got real cars, real cities, and they are photographed so that you look exactly as they were with all the shops and everything. It's definitely worth buying. As I said, you should buy the second one as well. Second one's actually my favourite. There's the original Forza Motorsport. If you're into your sim racing, and especially if you've not played it, you want to go back to the roots of Forza Motorsport, you will not find some of those easy rewinds and some of the features that they brought in maybe 3 or 4. But it's good. Personally, not one of my favourites, but certainly something you should have in your collection if you want to start an Xbox original collection. We've got, lastly here, although there are many games, Fable. Again, if you've got a 360, you probably played Fable 2 or 3, and if you like those, you'll like this. Not quite as open world, there's more loading and stuff because it's a bit older. Same thing, you can be good or bad, and excellent RPG. It's well worth buying. There's also the Lost Chapters version of that if you are interested in it. So we'll move on to some games of note. There's loads and loads of games of note that I've got, so I just picked up some. Shenmue 2. This is a Sega game originally released on the Dreamcast, and this version has better graphics, better frame rate. Also has English audio, and this version also comes with a DVD of the Shenmue movie, the movie. I'm sure it's cutscenes of the original game. I'm not 100% sure, never ever touched it. So, but definitely an excellent game. As I said, open world, and for its time, excellent, great story. Panzer Dragoon Orta, another Sega game. A lot of Dreamcast games or Sega games ended up on this system, so if you like Sega, you should also be interested in the original Xbox. So Panzer Dragoon Orta, you are on this dragon. Well, Orta is on this dragon who saves her. It's a rail shooter. It's good fun. It's 4th in the series of the Panzer Dragoon series, and I think it's the final one of that. So that's one to check out. All these games are, well, they're a bit more expensive than, well, I think they're a bit more expensive. I'll see as we go through the list. That's maybe about £15 to £25. Stubbs the Zombie, an excellent game. It's funny. You play as this zombie, and there's just loads of funny things happen in it, and it also runs on the Halo engine. This is maybe more expensive than some of those. That's maybe about £25 to £40 for Stubbs the Zombie, but well worth it. Now, Jade Empire, yeah, these are not all necessarily that expensive. A bit more expensive. This is the limited edition version, so it's got a nice cover on it. That's a bit more expensive. This is a BioWare RPG. It's the same people that made Mass Effect and Knights of the Old Republic, which I didn't put in the pile, but that's one to try. This is an excellent RPG. and the fighting is pretty good in it too. You should definitely try it out. Yeah, excellent. It's maybe about £6 to £12 for the normal version, maybe a bit more for this version. Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, I just put that there because if you love the Elder Scrolls games like Elder Scrolls Online, Oblivion, Skyrim, then this is the one that preceded them. Excellent. Set in Morrowind, and there's also a Game of the Year version. That's worth getting as well because it's got more content in it. And lastly, we have Dreamfall Longest Journey. That's an action adventure game with story, great story. There's a new one, Dreamfall Chapters, on the Xbox One, but I totally recommend playing this beforehand. The final reason for collecting Xbox original games would be the backwards compatibility for Xbox One. This lets you play up to 4K in the Xbox One X, and it's 4 or 6 times the resolution in the original Xbox. So here's a couple of the games here. There are about 10 or 13 of the games, and you can pop these straight into the machine. It'll go and download it onto the hard disk, and as long as you keep this in the machine, it'll play them on your Xbox One. And the prices of these, they tend to be going up. Like Blood Drain 2 was quite rare, and NCX, I think it was like £8 to £10. It's now like £20, and I think the same with seen Psychonauts is way up to about £20. So usually that's a place that undersells the Xbox games anyway, because a lot of people don't buy them. But the minute that there's increase of wanting something, then they put the prices right up. And I've seen it on eBay as well, like things like Crimson Skies and stuff. It's quite popular, even like Fusion Frenzy, although that was sort of kind of expensive, well, not more expensive, but it was at least about a tenner or something. So that was my quick look of why you should buy an original Xbox, or just start collecting original Xbox games, because the prices are down low, but they are starting to sneak up, especially some of the more expensive ones. And there is a great load of games that you can play, and even the cross-platform ones, you'll probably find that the best version is on the Xbox because it's the most powerful. So if you did like this video, if you hit the subscribe button, then you'll be able to get more of this kind of thing, or anything that's on Xbox. I'm making loads of videos about the 360, the original Xbox, and Xbox One stuff, and hardware, and collectible stuff like this. So if you do want to subscribe, that would be great. And thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.